Ilia Topuria is facing threats of domestic violence from his now ex. Ilia Topuria stated, quote, "In recent months, I've been subjected to severe and unacceptable pressure, including threats to disseminate false allegations of domestic abuse unless financial demands were met. How essentially this is a matter of evidence, and all relevant evidence has been carefully preserved and documented, including audio recordings, written communications, witness statements, and video material." Yeah, okay, we have a little bit of a good reason as to why bro is not fighting. I think that dealing with any sort of false allegations like this is far more important than getting into the octagon as fast as possible. As much as we all want to see Ilia defend his belt against Armin, against the winner of Paddy versus Gaethje, I understand he's got to take his time. Like, this is far more important. The thing that people don't understand is that false allegations can ruin your life, even if you prove it's not true. Even if you fight till the end that it is not true at all, it doesn't matter. That's going to be a part of your reputation for the rest of your life, regardless of whether or not the allegations are true or not. And essentially, people are going to associate you as this abuser because someone said so, because a lot of people tend to believe one person over the other because they might not like a certain person, or whatever the case is. People tend to have their own biases, so this is a very serious matter, and I hope that Ilia Topuria comes out of this unscathed.
He's a wife beater. Ilia Topuria, UFC's undefeated champion, suddenly vanished from the octagon, now entangled in a lawsuit. Explosive domestic violence allegations from his ex-wife have rocked his world. Claims he insists are nothing but fabricated leverage. This bombshell has violently flipped the entire lightweight division, turning what looked like a smooth championship reign into the sport's most chaotic storyline in years. A legal storm rages, threatening to define not just his career, but the very direction of a stacked division, as the alleged threats and financial demands speak volumes. This is no ordinary championship drama. It's a battle for his name, his family, and his legacy.
Ilia Topuria has just stated as to why he won't be coming back anytime soon to defend his belt. It's because his wife is accusing him of DV, if y'all know what that means. I don't want the video to get taken down. It's a very serious allegation, and it's recently just been confirmed by Ilia himself, even though we sort of had other sources telling us the same thing. That being said, I think Armin might be a bit more sympathetic as to why the lightweight division is being stalled right now. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I was one of those people. Hopefully this man gets his kids back, and we won't see Justin Gaethje suffer the poorest divorce, Ilia Topuria, without his kids.
Topuria himself broke the silence, revealing his absence wasn't due to injury or contract, but severe and unacceptable pressure. He faced threats to disseminate false allegations of abuse unless significant financial demands were met. This astonishing revelation transformed a simple disappearance into a complex tale of alleged extortion and manipulation. Topuria isn't just denying the claims, he's fighting back against what he describes as a malicious scheme designed to ruin him. His public statement laid bare the immense stakes involved.
These allegations are entirely unfounded. The truth is not a matter of opinion, it is a matter of evidence. All relevant evidence has been carefully preserved and documented, including audio recordings, written communications, witness statements, and video material. This evidence has been submitted to appropriate judicial authorities in order to pursue legal action for attempted extortion, falsification of evidence, misappropriation of funds and personal property, and multiple threats. My initial decision to remain silent was made solely to protect my children, who are the most important part of my life. However, I've come to understand that silence under these circumstances does not protect the truth. It allows false narratives to take hold. Many individuals have faced similar situations, and time and again, the legal system has ultimately clarified the facts. Today, I'm stepping forward not only for my family and myself, but also to demonstrate that no one should be forced to yield to intimidation, manipulation, or fear. Those who know me can attest that I have never engaged in violence of any kind, and that my life and career have always been guided by discipline, respect, and integrity. I have full confidence in the judicial process and will allow the legal system to determine the facts based on evidence. Out of respect for my children and the ongoing legal proceedings, I will not be making any further public statements. I respectfully ask that speculation be avoided and that my family's privacy be honored during this sensitive time. The truth does not require volume, it requires facts. Thank you, Ilia Topuria. So that is heavy duty stuff. Obviously, we knew that he was going through some personal issues and there's rumors online, and I didn't want to partake in any of those. I had not heard any of this. I had not heard any of these allegations or rumors, innuendo, any of that.
To counter these serious accusations, Topuria claims to possess overwhelming evidence. He meticulously preserved and documented audio recordings, written communications, witness statements, and even video material. This formidable collection, he states, has already been handed over to judicial authorities. His strategy clearly involves a legal offensive, aiming not only to clear his name, but to pursue charges related to attempted extortion, falsification of evidence, and multiple threats. The truth, he insists, is a matter of facts, not public opinion.
I kind of knew this was the situation when Ilia first announced that he was going to be stepping away. I'll mention that at some point in this video. Bryce Mitchell has immediately weighed in on the situation aggressively, had a lot of harsh words for Ilia Topuria. Early doors on the whole situation, but Bryce Mitchell has massively condemned Ilia Topuria and gone after him, and he's angling. I guess he's pushing now for a fight with Alejandro Topuria and said he's down to fight him. They're both in the same weight class now at bantamweight, so that could be something that comes from this as well. Bryce Mitchell versus Alejandro Topuria, and the Nelk Boys clip from a while ago. We'll see if that ages well in hindsight once we go through this whole court situation, because I'm going to read you the statement here, and this is what it comes down to. Ilia Topuria's official statement. He comes out with this, gets ahead of the stories, gets ahead of the news before they break it down or before we randomly find out about it as they're going through the court situation. And this is it.
At just 26, Topuria had been riding the highest wave of his career. Fresh off a stunning knockout that crowned him lightweight champion, adding to his featherweight belt, momentum was fully on his side, yet he vanished. He revealed the stress of protecting his family, especially his children, forced him to step back. Initially, he remained silent, believing it would shield them. However, he soon realized silence allowed false narratives to take hold, compelling him to speak out and fight for his reputation.
Well, I got something for you. It's called the Wife Beater Special. That's right, I got my wife beater on for Ilia Topuria. That puts his hands on a woman. You know, I grew up without a dad. You know, never seen my dad, never will see my dad. And you know what? I'd rather not see my dad than have my dad there beating on my mom. Let me tell you something, what that'll get you killed around these parts, son. That shit no joke. There ain't nothing funny about it, and I just had to let you know you're a straight up for that. And your brother's a bitch too. I'll fight him. I'll beat his ass. You got lucky I was sick or I'd have beat your ass. And look, you don't deserve to get to see your kids, son, because you put your hands on their mother. You're a coward. That shit is sickening. Ilia, you need to repent, return to Jesus Christ, and if you repent, you won't rot in hell, bro. But you better really mean it, and you better really repent, and probably stop drinking too. You probably got a drinking problem, man. Return to Jesus Christ, you will be forgiven, and if not, you're gonna rot in hell, bro, because that's where women beaters go. One more thing for you, Ilia. Wives ain't like belts, okay? It ain't the more the merrier. You're supposed to have one man, one woman, two become one, okay? You're out running around working on your third wife now. Hell, you think they're championship belts, and you're trying to get 3 or 4. You're an idiot, dude. You need to take notes from a guy like me.
The timing of this bombshell could not have been more disruptive for the UFC. With its reigning champion sidelined indefinitely, the promotion moved quickly to keep the lightweight division active. The immediate consequence: an interim title fight was booked between Justin Gaethje and Paddy Pimblett, scheduled to headline UFC 34. This swift decision instantly divided fans and fighters, some arguing it was a necessary step, while others felt more deserving contenders were overlooked. The division was thrown into immediate uncertainty.
Me and Topuria's got the storyline built in. It's all there. It's half nice for me that he won the belt, even though I don't like him. I'd rather him not be a 2-division champ. It's better for me that he won the belt, because if Charles would have won, then I definitely would have had to fight someone else first. You know what I mean? But with Ilia having the belt, it's just a storyline's already set up. It's all ready to go. Exactly. So I don't understand why it's not announced and why it's not already made and written in a contract.
Despite the chaos, Topuria confirmed he was well aware of the UFC's plan before it became public. He engaged in multiple conversations with the promotion and understood that his personal situation would prevent him from competing early in the year. From his perspective, crowning an interim champion made perfect sense. He even viewed both Gaethje and Pimblett as valid choices, congratulating them on reaching what he considered the closest they might come to a real-world title, while subtly reminding everyone the true belt still belonged to him.
But I think everyone's going to be shocked, to be honest, because I think I'm going to knock him out. So People won't expect that. People think I'm just going to try and grapple and take him down, but I'm not. I'm going to come out and I'm going to put it on.
Expecting an early knockout, a late knockout, somewhere in the
I
middle.
don't see him getting past the third, just like Chandler.
As the legal situation unfolded, outside voices wasted no time piling on. Bryce Mitchell emerged as the loudest and most controversial critic, aggressively condemning Topuria. The former featherweight contender openly claimed he believed the allegations, despite no official ruling or confirmation from authorities. Mitchell's harsh words went far beyond simple criticism, immediately turning what was already a delicate situation into a deeply personal, volatile exchange that surprised many observers.
Paddy's not bad, dude. Paddy's not bad. He's very beatable, and Gaethje's very beatable as well. But when it goes into the passion and how upsetting Justin Gaethje has always been about not getting that real title shot, and they just keep dangling it right there again, Paddy's in for a new treat, right? Paddy's the one that's never fought for a belt. He's going in there. He's going to be trying to, get that stuff. He's going to feel a little bit more fresher. He's going to have that little bit of excitedness, in my opinion.
Mitchell's attack reached an infamous peak in a video where he donned a wife-beater shirt, declaring it the wife-beater special for Topuria. He launched into a scathing tirade, stating he'd rather not see my dad than have my dad there beating on my mom. Mitchell then dragged Topuria's brother, Alexander, into the mess, challenging him to a fight, further escalating the animosity. He even suggested Topuria had a drinking problem and needed to repent to Jesus Christ.
Paddy Pimblett, Justin Gaethje fighting for the interim title. Whoever wins that fight will move on to fight Ilia. And I don't think that there will be a title defense for the interim title. If I was to guess, if I was to bet, there will be no title defense of the interim title. I think that the next fight for whoever wins between Paddy and Justin, I think their next fight will be Ilia Topuria. So do not think they will defend the interim title. So good movement and clarity at 155 pounds. I feel for Arman Tsarukyan, but this fight's going to be incredible.
The intense animosity from Mitchell wasn't entirely unprovoked. However, their history dates back to 2022 when both fighters were undefeated prospects with rising hype. That highly anticipated matchup ended with Topuria submitting Mitchell in the second round, handing him his first professional loss. While Topuria climbed rapidly to championship gold, Mitchell struggled to regain momentum, going 2-2 in his next 4 fights before dropping down to bantamweight, a stark career divergence that undoubtedly fueled his harsh public stance.
That night 8 years ago, what's like the first thing that comes to mind when you think of that fight with Justin?
That I'm glad it's over and I never want to do it again. I'm like, the fans don't ever ask for a rematch or anything like that, because that would have never. I'm like, I'm glad. He's unique, man, and he's one of my favorite guys to watch. So like, but if you want to beat Justin Gaethje, you have to. So he's a forward fighter and a pressure fighter that he will stand in the pocket, and he's gonna throw everything he got in that pocket. If you don't meet him, you'll get chewed up. So Paddy, the way to beat a guy who like does this, very violent, aggressive pressure fighter, you have to meet him. You have to throw when he throws. So you got to be brave, and you have to go when he goes in between his shots. If you do that, you got a fair shot. If you don't do that, if you're not brave and courageous and throw when he throws in between his shots, it's going to be a really long night. It's going to be a hard night for you.
In stark contrast to Mitchell's aggressive condemnation, Paddy Pimblett, despite years of heated exchanges and a contentious rivalry with Topuria, moved in the opposite direction. Pimblett publicly softened his tone, wishing Topuria well and stressing that his rival's personal life had nothing to do with their eventual fight. This unexpected display of maturity from Pimblett, famous for his brash trash talk, signaled a surprising shift in perspective, offering a momentary calm amidst the storm of accusations. Topuria himself acknowledged Pimblett's newfound professionalism, crediting him for understanding the value of entertainment and building hype despite past missteps. He hinted that maturity often comes from learning through mistakes, suggesting Pimblett understood the weight of family and personal struggles beneath the bravado. This mutual softening of an old rivalry, once fueled by contentious comments like Pimblett's past tweet involving Georgia, revealed a surprising depth of character from both fighters. Pimblett's softened stance, however, also came with a strategic observation. If Topuria cannot return by the summer, Pimblett believes the champion may be forced to vacate the belt. This possibility would open the door for him to become undisputed champion without ever sharing the cage with Topuria. This scenario adds immense intrigue to the interim title fight with Gaethje, transforming it into a potential career-defining moment for Pimblett, offering a clearer, albeit unconventional, path to gold. Pimblett enters his interim title bout against Justin Gaethje with unwavering confidence, openly predicting a knockout within 3 rounds. He plans to walk Gaethje down, apply pressure early, and flip expectations rather than relying on grappling or caution. Despite lingering skepticism about many of his past wins coming against opponents past their prime, Pimblett sees this as his moment to shock the world. In his mind, chaos favors him, not the veteran known for his calculated violence. Observers from across the sport weighed in with contrasting views on the Gaethje versus Pimblett interim title fight. Tony Ferguson, who has fought both men, focused less on skills and more on mindset. He suggested Gaethje carries emotional scars from losing multiple title opportunities, and stepping into another interim championship fight could reopen old wounds. Pimblett, by contrast, brings excitement and freshness, unburdened by past failures. Ferguson didn't see either fighter as unbeatable, but felt emotional weight could subtly tilt the scales. Dean Thomas broke the fight down more clinically, viewing the matchup as a rare opening for Pimblett to touch gold. With younger monsters like Arman Tarakian and a returning Topuria looming, Thomas did not believe Pimblett matched up well against the division's most dangerous name. While Gaethje is still dangerous, he is further along in his career and more predictable. Even so, Thomas leaned toward Gaethje, questioning whether Pimblett could survive sustained pressure over 5 rounds or control him on the ground long enough. Eddie Alvarez, having experienced Gaethje's relentless style firsthand, stressed that Pimblett would need a radically different training environment to be ready. Gaethje's intensity, he argued, cannot be simulated easily. If Pimblett trained as usual, surrounded by familiar faces, the shock of Gaethje's pace and collisions could overwhelm him before adjustments were possible. Alvarez's insight highlights the brutal reality of facing someone like Gaethje, emphasizing the need for unprecedented preparation to survive. Topuria, however, chose a legal route rather than fighting the situation in the media. He gathered what he believes is overwhelming proof, including recorded conversations, written messages, witness testimonies, and video material. His intent is not only to clear his name, but also to pursue charges related to extortion, threats, and the manipulation of evidence. He expressed confidence that the legal system would uncover the truth without the need for public back and forth, which he felt would only harm those closest to him. In his official public statement, Topuria declared these allegations are entirely unfounded. The truth is not a matter of opinion, it is a matter of evidence. He confirmed submitting this evidence to appropriate judicial authorities to pursue legal action for attempted extortion, falsification of evidence, misappropriation of funds and personal property, and multiple threats. His powerful message underscored his belief in the legal process, positioning it as the ultimate arbiter of truth in this complex saga. Matt Brown zoomed out even further, using UFC 3024 as an example of what he called a problematic trend. He openly questioned the longevity of the sport when a single promoter owns the title and rankings, likening it to a monopoly. Brown argued that this system might prioritize entertainers over legitimate athletes who simply want to be world champions. He expressed concern that Olympic wrestling level guys, unwilling to engage in ridiculous shows on social media, might be passed over. Braun's concerns centered on whether the UFC is moving away from a meritocracy-based system. He fears that legitimate athletes, focused solely on being the best, are getting sidelined for those who can generate more social media buzz or controversy. While acknowledging the short-term benefit of selling pay-per-views, he believes true staying power requires a system where the best athletes, not just the best entertainers, reach the top. This raises fundamental questions about the sport's future identity and its commitment to pure competition. Topuria concluded his statement with unwavering confidence in the judicial process. He affirmed that his life and career have always been guided by discipline, respect, and integrity, and those who know him can attest to never engaging in violence. He vowed no further public statements, respectfully asking for privacy during this sensitive time. His final words resonated: "The truth does not require volume, it requires facts." A powerful, measured stand for his reputation and the sanctity of his family. At the core of it all remains Ilia Topuria, waiting for the legal storm to pass. He insists that once his personal matters are resolved, he will notify the UFC and begin planning his triumphant return. The lightweight division, however, spins forward without its king, shaped by interim belts, revived rivalries, and unanswered questions. The outcome of his legal battle will not only define his individual career, but also significantly influence the landscape of one of the UFC's most formidable and exciting divisions. This saga is more than just a fight. It's a stark reminder of how quickly personal allegations can derail a career at its peak. It highlights the brutal intersection of public perception, intricate legal battles, and the cutthroat world of professional sports. Whether Topuria reclaims his throne or watches it slip away amidst the storm will etch his name into UFC history in an unexpected way. The truth, when it finally emerges from the pile of carefully preserved evidence, will be the ultimate judge, shaping his legacy forever.